What is it, Bash? What is it? 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 Oh, do not unpack. Of course we're gonna unpack. Welcome back to the Shop Mini RC, everybody. I'm Ken, and today we are looking at the new FCX10 LC80 from FMS. This thing is awesome, guys. It looks so good in person. I love the livery. I love the color. I love the details. I love the lights and the bumper and the everything. I love it all. I love it all. The tires. This thing is just so cool. So I am super excited to dive into this guy, show you what it's about. There's some really cool features. It is based on the FCX10 platform, so similar to the FCX10 K5 Blazer, and we'll compare it to that. We'll also probably compare it to some other stuff, but we're going to dive deep into this guy. We'll show you what's different between this and the K5 Blazer, and we'll probably go run it. Maybe we'll go crawl. I don't know. We'll see. Let's check it out, though. So let's just take a moment to really appreciate how good looking this body is. It's a Toyota LC80 or J80. The LC80, Land Cruiser 80, it started in 1990 is when Toyota released this model. And I think it went through production all the way to 1997 or 1998 model year. I'm not totally sure on that, but 97, 98. So about 7 or 8 years worth of production. And yeah, super popular in the off-road world. They're also known as the Lexus LX450, basically the same type of body, very similar. It's the same platform, but yeah, Lexus also has their version of the Land Cruiser 80. It's just a very popular truck. So it's cool to see them finally bring this out with their little, right? Oh, look, right back there, right back there. That's the little FCX10 LC80. And yeah, it's just nice to finally get this. I know a lot of people have been looking for this truck, so it's cool that FMS listened and brought this truck to us. I love that it's got a full interior. We'll dive into that here in a second. It's got some awesome sliders. The body can tuck behind those sliders. We got our snorkel, this bumper that we did have to install. You saw that in the intro. We got our license plates on there. They also have a whole sticker sheet of license plates and a sticker sheet that came with. So we got this sticker sheet here, some cool little just different stickers, and then the different license plates they offered. You know, being that we're in Colorado, we're very partial to this Colorado license plate, but for some reason, I don't know if this is an error or what, but it's in black and white. It's not green. It's supposed to be green, or at least like this one. So this is one version of the license plate for Colorado. There's many, obviously. Most states have many, but this is the classic, the green. And so, yeah, I don't know. That makes me sad as somebody from Colorado. Anyway, it is still awesome that they provide us different license plates, so I love that. And yeah, it's cool. And the sticker sheets and all that kind of stuff always is fun, because it lets you customize your truck right out of the box. And you can be a totally new person to the hobby, and that's still fun to slap stickers on or whatever, you know, customize it. So snorkel here, tons of nice molded plastic details. It is a Lexan body, but we've got molded door handles here, a molded mirror with some actual hard to see, but it's a mirror. It's real. It's a mirror. Got our window wipers here, again, roof rack with the lights that light up. We've also got headlights and turn signals. These buckets are molded, so that's cool. sliders, fenders, molded. So it's a hard body Lexan hard body, highly detailed Lexan, which is really awesome because it lightens up the truck. And the Blazer's the same way, where it's a Lexan body, but it's got some hard details in it, and it really just makes the truck look fantastic. Here's the rear bumper with our ladder on the back. Oh, chrome Toyota emblem. Got one on the front too. Ooh, buddy, look at that. So cool. Do kind of wish that we had LEDs included with these lights, but you can always add them. Super simple to wire up into here. So that's cool. I don't know if this is supposed to be a light marker. I think this is a light marker, actually. I was thinking maybe it was a badge, but I think it's actually a light marker. So you could always paint that up with some translucent yellow or amber if you wanted to have that actual detail there. And then this is also an additional mold piece right here. So that is not part of the Lexan. It's not paint. It's actually like a plastic mold, which is freaking sweet. Just so many awesome details. Even a hitch, well, a hitch receiver here. Mind you, it's not attached to your chassis, so you gotta rely on your bumper. Not ideal if you got heavy stuff, but it's still cool that it's there. I dig that. And then all the FCX platform stuff underneath. So we'll dive into that here in a second as well. Let's look at the interior here. We got a hat that comes with our guy, so that's cool. There he is. It's kind of hard to see. We got a lot of glare here in the studio, but tons of detail on the dash there. Got a full rear seat, which is nice. You know, that big back seat. And then plenty of space in the back for storage. Put all your scale goodies in there. Very cool. Now our driver is unpainted, so you can paint him up, put whatever clothes you want on him. But look at that. You got all the full dash details in there. You can see that right there, those dash details. Very cool. Very cool. I love it. I love the detail. So moving on from how awesome this body is, onto this. Look at this quick release system for the body. You literally turn it and the body pops up. How awesome is that? And then there's one in the rear. Turn this guy, boom, body releases, and then you can pull the whole body off, no problem. Lines right up, sits in this nice slider here, keeps your body nice and tucked. Very cool. Here's the inside. You can see all of our light wiring. Comes back to this, 3 magnets and our light controller. So this is the same as what the K5 Blazer has as far as the setup with the not wireless, but magnet light connectors and the light controller all mounted in the body. So that is super cool. And that guy just drops right on and lines up here, which goes to your receiver, which is awesome. Here's that kind of release setup they've got going on here. And it's spring loaded, so this helps push the body up and away, so you don't have to pull on it. The magnets do still kind of hold down the back a little, but yeah, this is an awesome body mount system. We'll see how durable it is. It feels very simple in how it works, so I don't see why it wouldn't be super durable there. And just ease of use, man. Just pops right on there. No posts in your body. That way you've got your body still looking nice. I've already got a battery in this guy. And you can see it fits a 5200 hard case in here, so you could probably do a 5500 soft case, 2S. Now it is 3S capable, so if you go with a 3S battery, you're going to have a little bit smaller milliamp to make it fit, but you can fit a tall battery in here. It should clear your interior fairly well. That interior sits pretty high, so I think we've got a lot of room in there to fit a larger, taller battery, which is awesome if you want to do some longer running 3S trailing. It is an XT60. We've got a Dean's adapter on this battery, but it's an XT60 that comes with. So that's cool. We've got our 550 32 turn motor. That motor has a 10 tooth spur on it. It's running a 0.8 pitch, 47 tooth spur gear, and also obviously 0.8 pitch on that as well. The receiver is a 6-channel receiver, 2-in-1 combo, 60 amp ESC, and then a 25 kilogram steering servo that is axle mounted here. So super cool to have it axle mounted. That's the same as the K5 Blazer. Another thing that's cool is that it now comes with the inner fenders, whereas the K5 Blazer only like early orders, I believe, or special versions or whatever had the inner fenders included. Now these guys come with the inner fenders, which is awesome. This is a standard wheelbase, 325 millimeter wheelbase. So we can fit that same body on here. If we change out our body mounts and stuff, you can probably fit the K5 Blazer, no problem. Again, you'll just have to swap your body mounts because the chassis is all the same and all that good stuff. You also have to, I guess, get the light mount probably for the magnets there, if you were to try to switch over to the K5 Blazer body. Because I know a lot of people want to switch bodies around. They want to take the LC80 body and throw it on the K5. They want to throw the K5 on here. And you may be asking, if you don't know the platforms, why not? Why do they need to switch them? This is a much more simplified version of the K5. The K5 has dig and front wheel drive, rear wheel drive, adjustable through the transmission. And on your remote, you can switch that front wheel or dig. It's also got a 2-speed as well as front and rear locking diffs. So there's a lot more going on. You have servo mounted here, 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 and here on the K5. Now this is a more simplified version, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. It does bring the price down a lot. So this truck is a lot more affordable than the K5 Blazer, but you do still get a 2-speed transmission. So that's awesome, because that is a fun thing to have in a crawler. When you want to crawl or trail, you want to have that 2-speed. So 2-speed transmissions are awesome in these trucks. You don't really use the dig a lot. You don't use front wheel drive only a whole ton. Lockers are kind of situational as well, so not everybody uses that. So FMS wanted to be able to bring a truck to market that would appease to more people and bring the price point even lower. And if you want, you can always upgrade. It's got the same type of things. The axles themselves, the center portion are pretty much the same. You can see they've even got the hole here for the lockers. You'd have to get the internals and whatnot and all the parts for that and your servos and stuff, but you could do that. And I'm sure the same applies to the transmission if you want to swap transmissions and have your front wheel drive or dig, all that kind of stuff. You've got all the same spots to mount your servos, so it's not like you couldn't upgrade this truck. But for most people, they're not going to use those extra features. Most people just want a 2-speed and they want to run. And so this is perfect. It also means less breaking parts, less things to go wrong. If you have a servo burnout or your centering or your endpoints on your servo cause issues, that stuff can happen in any truck that has a ton of features. So by simplifying the features, it really brings this truck's core awesome. That's what I'm going to say, core awesome to the front, because really this platform is fantastic. I've loved trailing my Blazer and off-roading hardcore rock crawling with it. And again, it's a scale Lexan body, so it looks. If you saw my video on that K5, you saw we accidentally drove it off a cliff. Hopefully we don't do that with this guy, but it survived, so it's plenty durable. The platform is quickly proving to be a very good platform. So I love that we're getting a kind of a more affordable entry into the market with this. And I wouldn't be surprised if they kind of bring back the fully spec'd out or even come with a brushless at some point. I'm sure that stuff will be coming at some point. It just makes sense for FMS to be doing that. So it's exciting to see where this platform is going. But this truck, as it sits now, amazing. We do have 90 millimeter shocks here. They're aluminum shock housings. So all metal shock housings, metal links. And another difference between this and the K5 is this is on straight axles versus portals. We can look at that more when we get the K5 over here to compare. But yeah, I'm loving the servo and axle with the K5, and I'm sure I'm going to love it in this. It's a good servo from the factory, so you're not going to have to upgrade it too soon unless you start to go real heavy in upgrades and brass and things of that nature, or you abuse your truck a little bit, then it's to be expected at some point. You'll have to probably replace that servo. But yeah, 25 kilogram servo seems good. It's a 25 tooth on the servo horn. And then this little guy here, our shift servo, is a 13 gram. And it's also all metal gears. They're both all metal gears. So very cool there. This guy does have all metal gears in the transmission, as well as 25 ball bearings throughout the whole truck. So everywhere you would expect ball bearings, there's going to be ball bearings. Trying to make sure you guys get a good look of what we're working with here. Again, FMS has really stepped it up. They have taken their surface vehicles to the next level. If you know the history of FMS, they started in airplanes, then they moved over into the smaller crawlers like these guys over there, and now we're getting a standardized platform here. There's a couple other 10 scale trucks as well, but they're not on the FCX10 platform. Definitely more scale rigs, which is pretty sweet. They've got awesome bodies. They're all hard bodies. But the platform wasn't quite as customizable as this. A little bit harder to work on that platform, whereas this platform was thought of from a usability standpoint. They wanted to make sure it was easy to swap your motors, swap out different parts, upgrade things, and just be a fully hobby grade, top of the line, A-class type truck. So they're definitely killing it. This is the second one in that release, and like I said, they're definitely going to be coming with more. So it's just exciting to see what those are going to be and how they're going to be optioned out. Next, we'll look at these tires. These are the same tires that come on the FCX10 K5 Blazer. So they're the Super Marshers. They're 4.6 tall, 1.9s obviously. You can see the width there. Go ahead and do a quick measure. Looks like we are right at 45 millimeters, basically. 1.77 inches, 1.75 inches. Got our shocks in here. They are they're a dual spring sort of setup here. You've got the two different springs. I believe these are a little stiffer than the K5. They feel about right though. They feel good. They've got some thicker oil in them. Seems good. And I guess last, servo horn. Servo horn is metal and it's kind of a machine milled aluminum, so that's nice. Yeah. Let me go get the K5 and we'll just kind of look at them side by side. All right, so here's our sexy K5. Look at that interior. Ooh, buddy, that's a Make It RC interior. Pretty spiffy. We got our keychain in there. Anyway, so yeah, this guy, we got some upgrades on here, wheels and tires and whatnot, but I'll just show you the main differences here. All right. So you can see we also have inner fenders on here. Got this almost the same motor. This is a 21 turn. This is a 32 turn. Our transmission is going to be a little different, mostly because this guy has dig and front wheel only, all that good stuff. Whereas this guy's a little more simplified in the transmission. It's just 2-speed. This one also has a skid plate cover. So this metal plate, that's an upgrade though. Got the same drive shafts, same links, all that's the same. These are portals. This guy has portals. And then we've got our diff lockers for our front and rear diffs. Now that is a lot more things to potentially fail or have issues with. So for a newer person coming into the hobby, this is going to have a lot more moving parts. And if you don't have your endpoint set right or your trim set right, things can kind of do funky things, right? You have to know what you're doing as far as setting this guy up if you start making adjustments. So I think that's where this has a huge benefit to somebody who just wants to grab a truck and run, and they don't want to have to worry about their endpoints on their dig, which is something they'll probably rarely use. Out of the box, it's fine, but again, over time, things start to adjust, or they'll slowly, the cable, will stretch just a little, or any number of things. You hit rocks hard, and your adjuster or your lever here, needs slight adjustment. And if you're not knowing how to do that, you think your truck's broken when really it just needs a little adjustment. So I'm really digging this for the simplicity for sure. Now this truck came with the same tires as this guy here, and these tires were awesome. They performed really, really great on the rocks. They do have different wheels though. I like these wheels quite a bit. I love the hubcaps. I like that there's space in the hubcaps for the lug nuts, so it's a little bit more accurate representation. It's not just a round hubcap, which is very cool. Both have the magnet mounts for the light system here, or the magnet connectors, which is cool. This body release system is probably going to be superior as far as just ease of use. You just throw the body on, snaps right in. This one is very easy too, and I like it a lot, but I did see a lot of people have issues. A lot of the other YouTubers that review these were having issues getting the body on and off easily. There's posts that just push through here, and then these tabs pull back to open up. Pretty much everything is the same though, and you can swap all the parts from one to the other. So if you really wanted to, you want to put portals on here, you could. If you wanted to put the dig and the front wheel only, all that transmission stuff in here, you could. You can see we've got a winch on here. I don't know how that's going to work on this guy. That's kind of a small problem with this body mount because it is big and bulky, so getting a winch in here may be an issue. You would definitely, I don't know what you'd be doing there. Maybe you'd have to put the winch in the front here and make space in the body when the body goes on. Trim out the body and put I don't know. You'd have to do more of a scale winch possibly, or put a winch further back and then run a guideline. But you're definitely not just fitting a winch in the front like you did on the K5. Got our on and off switches in the same spot. Same battery tray. Should be the same ESC. Yeah, very similar. They're the exact same wheelbase, so if you really wanted to as well, you could swap bodies. If you want to buy the K5 and put the LC80 body on there, you could, but you'd have to, again, swap over your mounts or figure out a different way of mounting. There's a lot of work involved. Your fenders are not going to be the same. They're different size fenders. So while you could make it work, I don't know. I probably would just get the K5 with the K5 body. Again, unless you're doing custom mounts and stuff like that, you can do body posts, right? Make some custom body posts and then just have pins through your body, but I don't think that's something you really want to do. And then also your light mount, right? You have to get your light mount to work. It fits. Your bumpers are going to be different, obviously, but it's the same wheelbase, so you could make it work. Just a lot of work to do that. So this truck is it's a great size, typical 10 scale size, matches all the other manufacturers out there. So yeah, it applies to both of them since they're the same wheelbase. All right, let's go ahead and here I'll compare it to just size wise to a Bronco. So here's the Axial early Bronco. You can see it's the same wheelbase. As far as the body width is concerned. Man, it goes on so easy. You literally just kind of drop it on and then push and you're good to go. So yeah, seems good as far as the size is concerned. All right, and then I've got a base camp as well. So there's the base camp. And base camp is just a little shorter on the wheelbase, it looks like. Not much, if at all. But it is a slightly smaller. Just when it comes to the body shape, you can see the doors, right? It's a little bit wider, a little bit taller. But just to give you an idea compared to a base camp. Cool. All right. I'm going to go ahead and start to kind of open this guy up a little bit, and we'll make sure it's greased up before we run it and all that good stuff, and then we're going to go run it. Actually, before we dive into this guy, I need to show you this. So our transmitter is a 6-channel transmitter. It's very familiar if you have an Arctos, the 6x6 18th scale that Hobby Plus released. They're using a very similar transmitter. This guy has a channel 3 here, your channel 4 here, and that's going to be your shift servo. A channel 5, which is your lights on and off. And then a channel 6, which is a 3-position, a left, center, and right, which is perfect for a winch. Or if you wanted to do some improvised rear wheel steer that's just full lock left and right, you could do that. Or just any other function that needs a left, center, and right. All these you can adjust the endpoints on. It's all in the manual. I'm not going to go over it here. This video is already going to be long enough, but it is in the manual to show you how to adjust your endpoints on each one of these buttons. We also have our standard steering dual rate, our steering trim, our throttle dual rate, and our throttle trim. Up here we've got our drive settings, which is forward reverse or forward brake reverse. That's the dip switch. Then we've got nickel metal versus lipo, and that is for the truck specifically because you can run a lipo in this transmitter. Actually, I'll show you real quick here. Right there. You just use a red JST 2S battery and you're good to go. And there is a low battery warning for both the AAA and lipo. So if you put a lipo in there that's a 2S lipo, it'll recognize that the lipo is low or getting low to low voltage cutoff, and it'll alert you. That way you don't kill your lipo, so that's awesome. Next we have drag brake, which are these middle two switches. And here I can show you right here in the book. You can see your 0%, 50%, 75%, and 100% drag brake. Running mode and all that good stuff. And then these last two are reverse switches, even though there's numbers at the bottom that say 1 through 6. That's the dip switch number. But if you look up here, you'll see 4 and 5. That's the reverse if you want to reverse channels 4 and 5. Same with our steering and throttle here. You can reverse those. Okay. Now with our lights and our light control module, something that may happen if you're messing with things and messing with your trim, if you find that your turn signals or your brake lights only work on reverse, but if you find that your lights are always on, like your brake lights are always on, or your turn signal is just always flashing when you're trying to adjust your trim, what you'll want to do is you'll want to get your trim set so that your throttle trim and your steering trim are set properly on here. And even though that light would be maybe blinking because of your trim settings, just turn the truck off, turn it back on, and the light control module auto centers both the throttle and the steering. So you'll no longer have a brake light that's always on or a turn signal that's always on. Just reset the truck and it will re-center the light module. So that's a pretty cool feature as well. There is, like I said, a way to do all of your dual rates in that with a double press of the bind button, but that's in the manual. I would highly recommend reading your manual if you want to learn about that. As far as binding the truck is concerned, it's super simple. We'll turn this guy off. Turn this guy off. Basically, you're going to hold your bind button, turn it on. You'll be blinking. Turn on your truck, and it'll bind right up just like that. Super simple. All right, so let's go ahead and dive into this guy. Make sure we've got grease where we need grease. Look at the gears, some basic stuff like that. All right, so we have a much more simplified diff here. It's just a locked diff versus the K5 Blazer, which has a diff that can be opened, locked, locked or unlocked. But we are plenty greased up. We got some nice big bearings in there. Seems good. I also kind of wanted to look at how they did the portals here, or the lack of portals, the straight axles. So we're going to pull off one of these wheels and just give it a look real quick. Just like that. Got sort of a C-clip on here, the Jesus clip, if you will. That looks like that sits up against the bearing. And then this entire piece comes off as well. There's, looks like 2 screws in there that'll pull off this. So you have kind of a carrier hub, bearing carrier hub that goes on there. And I believe these axles here, housings, are going to be the same as the portal housings on the K5 Blazer. Yep, there you go. So you could just buy the portal housings and gears and stub shafts and all that if you really wanted to go portals on this guy. It's the same. It's going to bolt up just the same. Now your gearing is going to change quite a bit if you do decide to do that. So just keep that in mind. If you change gearing in your portals, you might have to change some gearing in your transmission and your motor. Okay. Now we would have to verify that our C-hubs are the same for the portals as the straight axles, which I can do real quick. We'll go ahead and measure this out. It's like we're right at 15.5 millimeters, basically. And then on this guy, yeah, same C-hubs it looks like, so that's cool. You can see how those knuckles, C-hubs are set up in there. And the portals just drop down about to here, about level with the bottom of the knuckle there, like so. So that'd be a pretty easy conversion to throw some knuckle sets in there, as well as the rear portal housings. But again, your biggest concern then is going to be gearing. So I figure while we're in here, I'll go ahead and measure this guy out just so you know. Not inches, let's do millimeters. 4.5 millimeters on the shaft, the axle shaft, with the flat portion right here being 3.2. 5 at the hex, and the threading is going to be at 4, and then our hex is a 12 millimeter. So standard there as far as the hex is concerned. Let's go ahead and get this guy back together. Should be 90 millimeter shocks. Let's go ahead and do that. Measure that real quick. I can't get in there exactly because of the fender flare, but yeah, you can see we're at 90 millimeters. So that's cool. Just just in case you, I mean, we measure everything here. Let's see, drive shaft, 120 millimeters, it looks like. Yeah, 120 in the rear. Front's going to be, we can press it, 109, 110, somewhere like that. Oh, wait, hold on. Goes underneath the skid a little bit, so probably around 113. Maybe a little more, 114. It's hard to tell without the pulling the skid apart there. Our links, our lowers are going to be 120 and 140, essentially. Now, getting these uppers is going to prove to be a pain, but we can try to give an estimate. Looks like we're right at 90-ish. Probably more. Let's see, 90. It's hard to get in there, like I said, without pulling it apart. Yeah, about 90. And then these guys look like they're going to be probably 140 almost. So if you want super accurate measurements, you can pull it out, but that just gives you an idea. And of course, just in case you didn't catch, yes, the fronts are CVDs. And I think we're good. I don't think I want to open up the transmission here on this guy. Maybe at some point in the future, we can do a video opening that up or doing an upgrade in there if there's some sort of upgrades that we want to do. Or if we strip something out or something crazy happens, I'm sure we'll show that. We'll open it up. It's pretty easy to change over your motor, though, if you really want to. We can open that part. We'll do that. Let's get this back together, and I'll take off the motor mount. Before I get this guy back on, I did want to show that these are glued-on tires, so that's unfortunate. I was kind of hoping these would be bead locks. It's super easy to make a 3-piece bead lock nowadays, even in plastic, so I kind of wish they would have done that so that we could swap these tires to other rigs. They are vented, though, and they feel pretty good. Like I said, we ran them on the K5, and they perform pretty well, so I was definitely impressed. But man, just wish these guys were bead locks, because if I want to throw other tires on these wheels or throw these tires on other wheels, like, it just gives you those options. And I hate glued tires. Hate it. I mean, unless we're racing, I absolutely hate it. So let's get this guy back on and we will look at the transmission. I also pulled the front diff. Check that. Good on grease there. I'm going to go ahead and snip this so we can kind of get this up and out of the way. I'm not going to do all of them, but just enough to make this so you can kind of see in there a little better. I guess we can pull the servos out. Servo wires. There's antennas in there as well, so can't fully pull this out of the way, but at least we'll be able to lift it up a little bit. There you go. You can see down in there what we've got going on as far as transmission is concerned. And our shift. And this guy got 4 more. And there's our motor mount, and it is adjustable, so that's awesome. Also appears that we've got a little bit of grease going on, just a little bit. You don't really need to over-grease these guys. This thing is on a slipper clutch, so you can adjust that slipper clutch if you need to, tighten it up with that nut right there. But yeah, it seems good. I like the adjustable mount here. Nice and smooth drivetrain. Don't have a ton of slop, but there is a little bit of play in there. If you see I'm holding this transmission, there's just a little bit. Sure, part of that has to do with it being a 2-speed, but not as bad as Portals. Portals almost always have tons of play and slop in the driveline. This isn't too bad though. All right, let's go ahead and get this guy back together, and then we can run it.
Rolling down the mountain, the sun's in our eye. Toyota LC80, ready for the sky. K5 plays the trailer, it's a rough ride ahead. Adventure calling, leave your worries unsaid. Together we roam, side by side in our faith. In the LC80, we're in valleys where the wider hearts play. Engine roaring loudly, we're living for today. Once the mud splashes, it's a thrill we embrace. No turning back now, we found our own space. Open roads ahead, let's take on the chance. In the LC80, we're kings of the trail. With the K5 laser, we will never fail. Off-road journeys, freedom in our lanes. Together we conquer the sunshine and rains. Into the sunset, we'll drive till night. Toyota and Blazer, hearts full of light.
Oh, oh no! Oh God! Oh, oh man! That's a drop right there. Oh. Oh no, scattered goodies all the way down. Hazard lights came on, that's cool. Oh no, I think we have stuff down there. Oh, down in the crevasse. Okay. Oh man, this is no joke. Oh, bummer. Jeez. We need a little stiffer springs, I think. Kind of got some body roll going on there.
A few moments later.
Rolling through the wild, it's the LC80 rain. With the K5 blazer, we're breaking the chain. Follow down winds, tearing up the terrain. Tires spin, the turn nothing's gonna restrain. Engines roaring, can you feel the thrill? The Toyota LC80, we ignite the fire. K5 blazer by our side, we're taking it higher. Off-road warriors with the passion of fire. Face the wrong ways, let the slaves conspire.
All right, guys, this thing pretty beastly. We did have a little tumble wumble, if you will. Only damage was to our roof rack right here. We broke the roof rack. It pulled up. I think the part of that was the way our netting was kind of hooked on. It was hooked only to the top. We've hooked it to the bottom since, but it was hooked to the top and ripped it all off. And then we kind of lost some stuff. That's okay. Other than our tumble wumble, we had a blast with this thing. Not even the tumble wumble's kind of a blast. I thought there was gonna be a lot more damage than there was. If you go back and watch it again, it goes a while. It's a pretty steep fall, and yeah, I was expecting some cracked Lexan. Nothing cracked. Even our bumpers. I mean, I've kind of done a little bit of inspection, not too close, but I haven't seen any issues. Everything looks straight. So yeah, I think we're good. I mean, we kept driving a little bit after that, and had a good time with it for sure. I do think it needs a little bit stiffer shocks. Kind of has a lot of body roll, especially when you put some stuff up top. Definitely going to make it have more body roll. We tried preloading the shocks all the way. They're pretty much as preloaded as you can get, but I think we need stiffer springs. But if you're not loading up the top, they're probably just fine. Everything's was awesome though. It is a little bit slower in the top speed than the K5 Blazer. So if you understand that, so like in second gear, going as fast as you can, it's a little slower. And in the slow crawl, it's a little bit faster. And I think the reason they did that is I had seen a lot of people in the Facebook groups and whatnot kind of mention that their K5 in second gear just rips. I mean, it's fast, but that's not what most people are looking for with the crawler. And it's almost too fast for like if you were to hand it over to a kid or something. And so a lot of people wished it had a little bit slower high end with more torque. So that's what they gave it. But then they also said that the slow crawl was too slow to trail with. So he had lots of torque, but it was just a little too slow to walk with without it being in second gear. And in second gear, it was just too fast. So they went ahead and basically sped up the slow and slowed down the high just a little bit. Now, if you want to change that, obviously the parts are out there for it. You can swap motors, swap gearing, things of that nature. It's going to be a little different because this guy is a straight axle versus the portals, but you can change the motor, whatever. There's tons of options already. And so I think that's great. It just gives you another option out of the box that's slightly different. And I love when people take the same platform, but do little tweaks here and there. Companies, when companies do that, they'll take their platform, do a little bit of a tweak, switch it up a little. Again, just enough to make you want it. And I think that's awesome, actually, because what that means is there's a lot of other options out there to build custom rigs. So now you could do a mullet build if you wanted. You could take the FCX axles, use a portal rears and straight axle front if you really wanted to. Again, just it's cool that we can switch things up and mix and match. So I love that. I love the body. I got so many compliments out on the rocks. And I couldn't really tell people what it was because it wasn't out yet, but a lot of people loved it. They're like, that looks awesome. So, and I agree. I think it looks great. It's a fantastic looking truck. Again, it was handling those rocks fairly well up until we tried to side hill too much. Anyway, guys, I'm sitting here looking at the truck instead of looking at you guys. This thing's awesome. If you want to check one out, we'll put a link down in the description below. And then, yeah, keep an eye out for FMS coming out with all kinds of cool stuff. They should be just killing the market with new RC stuff. So I'm excited to see what they're bringing. They did a great job with the K5 Blazer. This is a great follow-up. It's a lower price point, which is awesome. It's a little bit more simplified for somebody who doesn't want all the gadgets that the other one has. And I think that's a great option to have. And again, if you want all that stuff, it's available. It's just in the K5. And if you want to swap bodies, you could, but it's going to take a little work. You have to get the mounts. But other than that, it should be a pretty easy swap because it's the exact same wheelbase. So yeah, we've already gone over it all. If you guys have any questions, make sure you put them down in the comments below. We try to reply to all the comments that we can, but our channel members do get priority replies to those comments. As we grow, it's hard to keep up with the comments. So channel members always get to have their comments replied to ASAP. They also get to see videos early before anybody else without ads. And they get some behind the scenes content and stuff like that. So it's worth checking out the channel membership if you're interested in supporting the channel and want to see more content, want to see content earlier. That's the best way to do it. But I do appreciate all the channel subscribers. It's just a click to become a subscriber if you're not, but it means the world to me and it helps support the channel a ton. Another thing that helps support the channel a ton is sharing videos you like. If you find a video you enjoy or a clip of a video, you can always clip them. There's like a way to clip on YouTube. Share those clips with other people. If you want to show us wrecking this guy, you can share that. It's awesome to help share all the content that we create. It really helps the channel and I appreciate it. Everybody that watches every minute of video, and I know some of these videos are long, so I'm going to stop talking now. If you've made it this far in the video, why don't you go ahead and put King of the Trails down in the comments below, like the song said, King of the Trails. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, hit that notification bell, all those things to support the channel. You guys get out there and do something awesome, build an awesome car, course, or community, or all three, and then smash it, crash it, and bash it, race, crawl, bash. Do all that awesome stuff, help support the hobby, help support companies you like. And if you're looking for a new truck, I think this guy's a great option. Talk to you guys next time. Peace.
Adrenaline pumping, watch you stay on. The Toyota